Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your one and only animation legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was betrayed by everyone and was sent back in time to save the Uzumaki clan with the powers of 10 tails. So, yeah, guys, hopefully, you guys enjoyed the previous part of the series, and if you guys have not seen it, please, guys, check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So, yeah, guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be very helpful to me as I want to reach 20k subscribers, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that Naruto had finally decided to enter into the battle of the Kages as Ashina was surrounded by the third Mizukage, the third Tsuchikage Onoki, and the third Raikage. As he was being defeated by these Kages, as Ashina was about to use the forbidden technique to take care of all these Kage level shinobi, but Naruto finally decided to enter into the battlefield when the third Raikage tried to kill Ashina, as Naruto decided to warn them and told them that they should leave the village of the Uzumaki, as all the Kage simply laugh at that. But Naruto finally decided to show some of his powers, as Naruto decided to fight against the Kage within a single move. Naruto defeated the third Mizukage and even killing him, shocking all the people that were present there. On top of that, Naruto decided to make hundreds of shadow clones which started to fight against all the shinobis of the other four villages, shocking all the Kages that were present there. And the third Raikage tried to kill Naruto, even decided to use his most powerful technique, one finger poke technique. But in the end of the day, Naruto was a Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. His power was not something that an ordinary Kage level shinobi can fight against, as Naruto easily defeated the third Raikage as well as the third Tsuchikage Onoki tried his best to use his technique to destroy Naruto, even using his forbidden techniques like particle dismantle Jutsu, but Naruto simply absorbed it. After all, he does possess the Rinnegan, as in the end of the day, Naruto beat both Onoki and the third Raikage. Afterward, their little Ambu team decided to take these Kages with them. After all, they could see no hope of them winning this battle. While on the other hand, when all the shinobis were running away, Naruto decided to use his true power as Naruto make a gigantic Bijudama and release it towards the living forces of all the four villages, as a gigantic explosion took place, destroying all the shinobis that were present there. While on the other hand, all the Uzumakis that were present there were in utter shock when they saw this kind of power, but they burst into sheer cheers. After all, this was a member of the Uzumaki clan. After all, they can sense their own bloodline from Naruto, while on the other hand, Naruto simply looked towards it with an amused expression on his face as Kurama told him that it was time for him to come out of his grief and things like that. And finally, it was time. A new timeline. He was in a new timeline and he can have a new home and a family. After all, Kushina Uzumaki, even though she was just a child, as well as Minato Namikaze still were present in this timeline. As Naruto finally decided to come out of his stupor and sorrow and decided to embrace this new world as his own, while on the other hand in Konoha, the when Konoha Shinobi as well as Third Hokage as well as his council heard about it, they were in utter shock, especially Third Hokage. He could not believe his eyes. After all, it was simply not possible. Even his Ambu team were utterly destroyed, and if they knew about it, if the other villages already knew that Konoha was in it, and Konoha did not send any shinobi for help, so Tadokage knew that at this point, the Uzumaki village must have known about the involvement of Konoha in this whole ordeal, as the door was open and Mito Uzumaki arrived there as Tadokage talked with Mito Uzumaki, telling her that she should talk with the Uzumaki clan, as Mito did not want it to. After all, she knew that what she has done, but in the end of the day, she has to protect Konoha, the village her husband had died to protect, and she cannot abandon it. She can abandon the Uzumaki country. After all, she was married off at the age of 16, and she has spent all of this time in Senju clan as well as in Konoha. So to her, Uzumaki clan was like a distant family, yes, but a memory nonetheless, while Senju and Konoha were her new home, and she cannot abandon them. So she decided to agree to that, while on the other hand, Tadokage told Danzo to investigate about Naruto if he was truly a half-blooded Uzumaki. If they can find some connection to Fire Country or to Konoha, then they can lay claim to Naruto, therefore strengthening Konoha even further. So yeah guys, that was the last part of the series. So if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So without any further ado, let us start the story from here. As Naruto at the moment was sitting in the head of the Uzumaki clan as Ashina was standing in front of him. Well, I have decided to pass the position of the Uzumaki clan head to you while I do not know about your true heritage, who your parents are. But you have come to our help in the very dire place. When the Uzumaki clan was in a very dire time, even our allies Konoha had abandoned us, so I believe that I can trust you. As Naruto looked towards him, do not worry about it. I have decided to help the Uzumaki clan, and I have decided to become its head. Do not worry. As Ashina simply nodded at that, he had, you can say, Kagura's mind eye, and he can tell that Naruto had no hostility against the Uzumaki clan, while he did not find any information about any member who have left the Uzumaki clan who could be the, you can say, mother or father of this Uzumaki Naruto, but his senses were telling him that Naruto definitely possessed the Kekkei and the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan, and the power of Naruto, it was on par with Hashirama Senju. This kind of power, even if he had to give up the position of the head of the Uzumaki clan, he will do it. As Naruto simply nodded at that, while the elders also agreed to it. After all, Naruto was simply one of the strongest shinobi alive in this era. Finally, the door was open as the Uzumaki Shinobi arrived. As he looked towards Naruto, my lord, and then he looked towards Ashina. My lord, we have gotten some information, a message from Mito Uzumaki. As Ashina looked towards the scroll with a complicated expression on his face. After all, Mito was his own aunt and one of the princes of the Uzumaki clan. Well, that of previous generation, but still, nonetheless. As he sighed, as he looked towards Naruto, Naruto was now the new head of the Uzumaki clan. As Naruto pointed towards the scroll, a scroll floated up and finally was in the hand of Naruto. As all the shinobi that were present in the conference room looked towards Naruto. As Naruto opened the scroll and started to read it, as Naruto scoffed at it as he threw the scroll towards the elders as well as Ashina, who started to move towards it and started to read about it, as most of them were angry after reading the scroll. Damn it! As Ashina slammed his hand into the table, Mito Uzumaki has simply gone too far. She has told us that we should forget about it, and she even tried to excuse the third Hokage and Konoha, telling them that how Konoha was not ready for a new war and they were, you can say, they wanted to help but did not do so because they cannot afford a war and other excuses, nothing more than that. As the other elders were also angry about this whole situation, most of them were of the same era as that of Mito Uzumaki, and this kind of betrayal was cannot be tolerated. As one of the elders spoke up, my lord, we should attack Konoha and teach them a lesson. As the other simply nodded at that, as Naruto simply shook his head, do not worry about Konoha. They cannot do anything. As for Konoha, as Naruto thought about it, after all, he was no longer affected by the power of Ashura, so his mind was a lot clear. He knew about the forces that were present in Konoha at the moment. Within few years, Konoha will self-destruct on its own. And Naruto knew that even if he had destroyed most of the forces of the other villages, the second great ninja war will begin sooner or later. As Naruto stood up, as he looked towards the map of the shinobi world, I have seen the shinobi world for a long time. Let me ask you something. Who is more powerful between me and Hashirama Senju? There was dead silence in the room as the people looked towards Naruto with a complicated expression on their faces. While Naruto was powerful, Hashirama was considered to be the god of the ninja world, the god of shinobi, as he was one of the most powerful beings that ever walked the shinobi world. So powerful that he can suppress the entirety of the shinobi world, all the five villages, with single hand. As Naruto smiled at that, so you believe that I'm not as powerful as the first Hokage? Well, how about now? As Naruto activated his Rinnegan and unleashed a bit of his aura, as all the shinobi that were present there were in utter shock. The Rinnegan, as one of the elders stood up, he could not believe his eyes. How did Naruto possess the Rinnegan? This was the eyes of the sage of six paths, a figure even more legendary than the Hashirama Senju himself. As Naruto smirked at that, as he said, as for the bloodline of the first Hokage, as Naruto moved his hand, after all, he possessed the power of Sage of Six Paths. Therefore, he also possessed all the bloodlines of the shinobi world. As a tree started to come from the ground, as there was dead silence in the whole room, the chakra levels of Naruto were anything they could only dream of. The Rinnegan, the eyes of the Sage of Six Paths, the bloodline of the first Hokage, the Moke it on. As Naruto smirked at that. So what do you think about it, huh? who is more powerful between me and that Hashirama Senju as Ashana gulped a little. If Naruto were to train for a few years, he would be as powerful as Sage of Six Paths, especially with the Rinnegan, the Mokidan, and this kind of chakra level, as a thought came to his mind, wondering if Naruto was secretly the Sage of Six Paths coming to save their Uzumaki clan. But he quickly shook his head. After all, that was just wishful thinking. But he himself did not knew that how near he was to the truth. As Naruto smirked at that, I have decided our Uzumaki clan cannot remain in this small country, while the country of the Uzumaki clan can be said to be a new idea. But in the end of the day, this is just a small country. Any village or any country has the power to come to attack us. So I have decided to conquer the shinobi world, the other five villages. There existence is nothing more than a cause of violence in the shinobi world, and they cannot be tolerated. They should be under the control of our Uzumaki clan. As Naruto pointed towards the shinobi world, soon enough the second great ninja war will begin. This will be time for our Uzumaki clan to make a mark in the shinobi world. People think that while we have power, but we are not powerful enough to safeguard the legacy left behind by the Uzumakis, and that is the main cause for this attack. The sealing arts they require these seals. Actually, Mito Uzumaki can be considered to be a harbinger of disaster for the Uzumaki clan. After Naruto make this statement, many people were surprised, wondering why is that even though Mito had abandoned them in their time of need, they still have a lot of respect left for Mito Uzumaki. As Ashina spoke up, my lord, what are you talking about? As Naruto simply nodded at that. Do you ever wonder why all the four villages had decided to attack the Uzumaki country? Is it only because of the seals? Not actually, because there are many reasons, but one of the fundamental reason is that they require the seals to make their Jinchuriki perfect. In this time, since the time Hashirama Senju distributed all the tail beasts, the other villages are unable to find a way to seal them permanently and use their power. Unlike Konoha, where Mid Uzumaki had demonstrated to entirety of the shinobi world the seals of the Uzumakis and the bloodline of the Uzumakis. That is the fundamental reason these villages are here, because they require the seals and the member of the Uzumaki so that they can make perfect Jinchuriki just like Mito Uzumaki. This statement shocked everyone. As they started to think about it, now they realized that Mito did not took the permission of any Uzumaki clan before she became the Jinchuriki, and now when because of her action when disaster finally came to the Uzumaki clan, she abandoned them so cruelly. As now all the elders and the head of the previous head of the Uzumaki clan, Ashina Uzumaki, was truly angry about the situation of Mita Uzumaki. As Naruto sighed at that. So, what do you think of my idea? As all the members of the Uzumaki looked towards each other, honestly, conquering the shinobi world, it was like a dream to them. They were a single clan, while powerful. After all, they're one of the most powerful clan in the shinobi world, but still, they are just that, a single clan. And this small country is actually sufficient for them. But looking towards the map of the shinobi world and thinking of all the villages coming together to attack them, to take their bloodline, to take their legacy, as finally determination came to their eyes. Naruto Uzumaki, this guy has the Rinnegan, the Mokidan, the chakra levels they could only dream of, and they were he had already shown a bit of his power, defeating all three Kages like they were nothing. So they looked towards each other and nodded nonetheless as Naruto smirked at that as he looked towards the map of the shinobi world, while inside of him Kurama spoke out, well Naruto, that was an unexpected move. I did not expect that you would want to rule the shinobi world. As Naruto simply scoffed at that. Honestly, I do not care about the shinobi world, but you were right, Kurama. I want to do something in this life. I cannot be caged in a single village or a small country like before, like when I was in Konoha. No, I need to go on a bigger stage. The conquering of the shinobi world is just for one step. I can feel it within me. The combination of the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tail, and after the Sage of Six Path has combined his powers with me, I can feel it. I am. But for all means and purpose and immortal, I cannot age. As Kurama inside of him were also nodded at that. Naruto at this point, his physical body was also present there, but because of his immense power and chakra inside of him, he has gained a form of immortality just like Kaguya Utsuki. So therefore, conquering the shinobi world can be considered for Naruto a way of humoring himself as Kurama simply nodded at that. Well, that is just one step, but Konoha's heritage is deep, Naruto. If you really go in this path, I'm confident that those old geezers will definitely try to summon the first and second Hokage to stop you. They will not allow you to conquer the shinobi world too easily. As Naruto thought about it, while Hashirama Senju was powerful, Naruto has long surpassed his power. Even when he was in a six-part Sage Mode against Kaguya, he was more powerful than Hashirama, and now he has so much power compared to Hashirama. As Naruto simply scoffed at it, the first Hokage is nothing. The only thing I'm worrying about is that of that black Zetsu guy, he would want to release Kaguya once again, but trust me, even if she's released, as Naruto looked towards his own hands, as Naruto smirked at that, he's confident that this time he would not need the help of that Sasuke like before. He would be able to take care of Kaguya by himself. Finally, the Ashina, the previous head of the Uzumaki clan, finally spoke up. My lord, we have decided to support you. The conquering of Shinobi world is nothing. We believe that under your supervision, we would be able to be on the top of the Shinobi world in no time. As Naruto smirk at that. Alright then, this is your first mission from me: gather the most gifted shinobi of the Uzumaki clan and bring them to training ground 10. As the previous head of the Uzumaki clan raised an eyebrow at that but nodded nonetheless. After all, Naruto wanted to make some powerful shinobi. After all, he has so many abilities, and Naruto believed that he would be able to make powerful shinobi for himself. After all, he himself was powerful enough to conquer the shinobi world, but after that, he would require powerful subordinates so that he could use them and make balance in the shinobi world. As Naruto looked towards Ashina, alright then, bring me a scroll. As Ashina simply nodded at that, as Naruto said, alright, these are the demands. Send this letter back to Konoha, and these are the demands of the Uzumaki clan. If Konoha did not want the Uzumakis to declare war on Konoha, then they must complete these demands. As Ashina raised an eyebrow at that but decided not to argue against Naruto. This guy has the Rinnegan who would have the guts to challenge Naruto at this point. As he started to write, as Naruto finally spoke, alright, these are the demands. As for the Forbidden Scroll and especially the technique of the Flying Thunder God. As Naruto thought about it, the technique of the fourth Hokage, Naruto believed that it is time for him to learn about it, as well as the technique of impure world reincarnation. These two techniques must be surrendered to the Uzumaki clan. On top of that, there were also demands of money and things like that. So, Naruto decided to send this letter back to Konoha, while in the other villages, as Raikage A slammed his fist onto the table. He could not understand it. How did the Uzumaki clan had such a powerful shinobi, and why did his spies did not knew about it? As A glared towards one of the advisor that was trying to suggest the Raikage to calm down. As A glared towards him, as the advisor flinched at that, as A spoke up. So, you guys didn't knew about this Uzumaki Naruto. Where did he come from? And why did not we hear anything about it? That those damn Konoha, it must be their plan. And I'm going to declare war on Konoha. As one of the advisors step forward, my lord, calm down for a minute. We have some suggestions to make. As A glared towards him but decided not to do anything about it. As the advisor spoke up, my lord, we have just come out of a war in which we have lost, but this is also an opportunity. We want to see if the Uzumaki clan would declare war on Konoha. A member like that, Uzumaki Naruto, his power is something else, and I dare say that it may be inferior to Hashirama Senju, but it is not far away. He may be as powerful as Madara Uchiha. So, we want to see what is gonna be the response of Konoha against this member of the Uzumaki clan. After all, the relationship between Konoha and Uzumaki is all but over. So, we want to take advantage of the situation. If they go to war, then we can take advantage of the situation and attack either one of them. Either way, we would get the seals of the Uzumaki clan. If we cannot get it from the Uzumaki, then we can definitely get it from Konoha. After all, Mito Uzumaki has long handed over all the secrets of the Uzumaki clan to Konoha. As A thought about it but nodded nonetheless, this was one way to get what they want, while on the other hand, Tsuchikage also came to the same decision. After all, they required the seals of the Uzumaki clan. They simply cannot have the Bijus running among in their villages. After all, they have tried to use inferior seals to steal away the Biju in the Jinchuriki, but the Jinchuriki never last long and often go berserk, so they require superior sealing techniques to control their Biju. Even a beating from the Uzumaki clan did not stop their ambitions. After all, that was their necessity and they cannot stop it no matter what. While in Konoha, as Tadokage looked towards some paperwork and the elder council was summoned for some suggestions and they were talking about the situation in the shinobi world as Tadokage spoke up. So did you send the message? As Koharu speak up, well, I have already sent it, as well as the wording of Mito Uzumaki. She has told the Uzumakis not to hold grudge in the situation and explain about the situation of Konoha. Tadokage nodded at that, as he still believed that the Uzumakis will definitely believe Mito Uzumaki, and for the future, they will definitely get a new opportunity to get rid of the Uzumaki clan sooner or later. As Tadokage smiled at that. After all, Mito Uzumaki was loyal to Konoha, but they require a new Jinchuriki, and that has to be the member of the Uzumaki clan. On top of that, they would have to get it from the Uzumaki village. On top of that, a member of the Uzumaki clan cannot have double loyalties. No, they cannot accept it. They have to get rid of the Uzumaki clan so that whoever will be the next Jinchuriki of Kyuubi will be loyal to Konoha and Konoha alone. As the smile at that finally, the door was knocked on and a shinobi finally appeared. Lord Hokage, we have got a message from the Uzumaki country. As third Hokage smiled at that, as he was ready to see what the Uzumaki country response is gonna be, as he gave a signal, asked for Mito Uzumaki as well. But before the Ambu could leave, the door was once again opened as Mito Uzumaki finally entered into the room. As she looked towards the Tadokage, as all the elders and Tadokage finally stood up, as Mito nodded at that, as she quickly grabbed the scroll. Alright, I want to see what the response of my Kane is actually gonna be, as she opened the scroll and started to read it, as the smile disappeared from her face as she frowned at that. According to the information she has gotten, it seems that Uzumaki Naruto is crowned to be the next head of the Uzumaki clan and the daimyo of the Uzumaki country. She did not expect it after all. For a long time, her line, mainly her father's line, was the head of the Uzumaki clan. When she was married off, her cousin became the new head of the Uzumaki clan and it was to be passed down to the next generation and things like that. But now it seemed that a outsider, while still a member of the Uzumaki, but still an outsider nonetheless, a half-blooded Uzumaki on top of that, has become the head of the Uzumaki clan. Was it only because of his strength, as Mito Uzumaki thought? But she started to read it as her expression got uglier and uglier as she more read it. According to this scroll, the Uzumakis did not accept the apology of Konoha and told them that how much they have sacrificed for Konoha, and even saying that how Mito Uzumaki has betrayed the Uzumaki country and she was expelled from the Uzumaki clan. When she heard that, she was in utter shock. She could not believe it. She almost dropped the scroll. At that, her hand was shaking as she read it. On top of that, the Uzumaki country has told them that they do not require a ally who would backstab them anytime, and they have even demanded that the property they have bought in Konoha at the beginning of the Konoha's perception would have to be sold off and the money should be returned back to the country of Uzumaki. They are cutting ties from Konoha. On top of that, they have also said that how they are gonna declare war on Konoha and if they do not hand over these two techniques. When Mito Uzumaki saw the technique, her soul almost left her body. She cannot hand over these two techniques. These are one of the most important secrets of Konoha, as she dropped the scroll at that, while on the other hand, Tadokage had a bad feeling about the situation as he quickly grabbed the scroll and started to read it, while on the other hand, Danzo and the other elders also started to read the scroll. Well, they have read it. Danzo slammed his hand into the table. Those damn Uzumakis. Hiruzen, they have gone too far. How dare they threaten us to declare war on us? Who does they think they are? As Danzo almost lost himself in anger, but Hiruzen quickly gave him a signal that Mito Uzumaki was still here, as Danzo quickly calmed himself down, while on the other hand, Mito Uzumaki had some tears in her eyes. After all, she still have some emotion for the Uzumaki clan. After all, her family still resides in the Uzumaki country, but she quickly calmed herself down as she looked towards Hiruzen. As she sighed at that, well, Hiruzen, I have already done my best. As for how you want to deal with the situation. As she sighed at that, she herself knew how the importance of these two techniques, the impure world reincarnation, as well as the flying thunder god technique. These two techniques are one of the core secrets of the Konoha, made by the second Hokage, while they were considered to be the core secrets of the Senju clan. But now, since the Senju have given up their name, these techniques belong to Konoha. As she sighed, she's not going to comment on that. She could only hope that things would not go too far. And she simply shook her head and decided to leave. As Tadokage also sighed at that, he thought that things would be smooth over by Mito Uzumaki, but he did not expect it that the line that where the clan had position always was dismantled at this new Uzumaki. As he frowned at that, Danzo, did you found any information about this Uzumaki Naruto? As Danzo simply shook his head, I did not find any information. It is like he appeared out of thin air. As Hiruzen frowned at that. You have to find something, Danzo. Otherwise, we will not be able to negotiate with the Uzumaki country. As Hiruzen snapped his finger as an Ambu appeared. Alright, send the information to the Uzumaki country and ask them that the head of the Uzumaki country come back to the village where we are gonna negotiate about the terms and the terms they have sent about the two techniques. They cannot be handed over, but we are willing to hand over the shadow clone technique as well as the water dragon bomb technique. Other than that, we cannot hand over any techniques that are sealed away in the forbidden scroll. As the Ambu simply nodded at that and quickly made the information in a scroll and sent it to the Uzumaki country. As Danzo looked towards Hiruzen, Hiruzen, are you sure they're gonna accept it? As Hiruzen simply shrugged at that, other than these two techniques, the other techniques are mainly of that of dangerous nature, especially the technique like learnt by Ketodan in the original timeline. As Hiruzen simply shrugged at it. After all, he believed that the Uzumaki country is still weak, and this Uzumaki Naruto is not the first Hokage. How dare he presume that he can challenge Konoha on his own? As Hiruzen simply dismissed it. While in the Uzumaki country, as Naruto looked towards the 20 children at the age of 12, these seem to be the new genin of the Uzumaki country. As Naruto looked towards them with his Rinnegan, he could see their potential. Most of them had great potential, but only few of them had the potential to be the Kage level shinobi. Only two of them in the whole of 20 shinobi had the potential to be the cage level shinobi. Other can only reach to that of the level of elite jonin, and some of them could only reach to level of jonin in their lifetime. But Naruto was happy nonetheless. As Naruto looked towards them, alright then, you guys know about me, don't you? Well, one of the members stood up. You're the new hero of the Uzumaki country, Uzumaki Naruto. As Naruto simply smiled at that hero, he still remembered when he was the hero to Konoha. But thinking of Konoha, a bad expression came to Naruto's face, but Naruto dismissed it nonetheless. As Naruto looked towards them, well, you're the new genin of this generation of the Uzumaki country. But I must tell you, many of you have great potential, but only few of them could reach to the heights of a Kage. And that is, if you're able to live to that point, the Uzumaki country was almost destroyed if I did not took action today. So, I want to tell you guys to train harder. I will teach you personally, and let me show you a new secret. This way, you can increase your powers even further. As Naruto slammed his hand together, as a portal started to appear out of nowhere, as portal started to expand and a barrier appeared in covering the whole training ground. As many people were surprised, as one of the members of the Uzumaki clan who had Kagura's mind eye looked towards Naruto as he said, "Teacher, there is some new energy entering into the barrier." As Naruto smiled at that, so you have the Kagura's mind eye. That is the great technique. The energy you're sensing is actually the natural energy of the planet. I'm using this sealing array to summon the natural energy. This way, when you train in the presence of abundant natural energy, you all of you would be able to sense it in time. And if you train in this area, your potential will explode and you would be able to train harder and increase your power even further. This surprises all of them, even Ashina Uzumaki, who was present at this time. Also, his eyes also widened at that. He was about to say something, but Naruto looked towards him. No, it cannot work for those who have already reached to a certain level. Even the abundance of natural energy will not be able to help them. Only these children who are new in the journey of becoming a shinobi can take advantage of the situation, and even then, they cannot stay here for longer periods of time. Otherwise, mutations started to will started to appear in them. As Ashina simply nodded at that, as Naruto looked towards them and made several shadow clones. So it is time that I started to train you personally. As the member of the Uzumaki clan nodded at that, as Naruto started to train them in the different arts. And finally, a Ambu of the Uzumaki country finally appeared. My lord, this is the response from Konoha. As Naruto grabbed the scroll, opened it, and read it, and threw it towards Ashina. As Ashina also grabbed the scroll and started to read about it, as he frowned at that, it seemed that Konoha does not take our Uzumaki country seriously. As Naruto simply scoffed at that, if Konoha actually believes that we are gonna go to Konoha to beg for scraps, then they can just keep dreaming. Everything is present in dreams. As Ashina simply nodded at that, so what is gonna be our next move? As Naruto simply smiled at that, just wait. Things are gonna get complicated in the shinobi world soon enough. As for Konoha, as Naruto smirked at that, they will learn from their arrogance. Soon enough, as Naruto smiled at that, as Ashina was confused but decided to trust Naruto nonetheless. While on the other hand, in the shinobi world, suddenly a news spread across the shinobi world that the rock country has attacked the sand village, while in the sand village the third Kazekage slammed his hand into the table. Those damn rock shinobi, how dare they attack our borders? As the sand village could not believe their eyes. Everyone thought that they are waiting to see the whole situation between the Uzumaki and the Konoha situation. But who would have thought that the Tsuchikage would take advantage of the situation to attack the sand village when they were not ready about it? They have suffered heavy casualties because of this whole situation. As third Raikage was angry about it, as Shio finally spoke up. Raikage-sama, calm down. We have to take this situation seriously. It seemed that the Tsuchikage want to take advantage of our situation and attack our country. As third Tsuchikage glared towards Shio, they have suffered so many casualties in the Uzumaki country. How dare they attack us? Are they not worried that they are already weakened and this war would weaken them even further? As Shio simply shook her head. The rock village is always known to produce so many shinobi. Not all of them are on great level. Most of them are merely at a level of Janin and some of them are on the level of Chunin. Only the elite forces are equal to our own. As third Tsuchikage gritted his teeth at that, so what should we do about it? As third Kazekage looked towards Chio, as Chio said, we need to prepare our forces and fight against the rock village, no matter what. As third Tsuchikage, on the other hand, in his camp tent, was looking towards the border of the sand country as he smiled at that. They have already taken advantage of the situation. The border patrol were already so little and they have already entered in the country of the wind and have taken over several small towns and have taken advantage of the situation to make some profit. After all, the rock village has suffered a lot of casualties in the Uzumaki country, and at this point they need to show something for it. And Sand Village was already a weaker village and they have to take advantage of the situation. While on the other hand, the news spread across the shinobi world. The third Hokage looked towards the information which he has gotten with a small frown on his face. This move, as he sighed at that, it seemed that the second great ninja war is about to begin, and he was right about it. When the third Raikage heard about the situation, that how the rock village is taking advantage of the situation and they have already gained a lot of profit from this whole situation, he also declared war on the Konoha, thinking that he could also take advantage of the situation, but that was a grave mistake. Konoha was already ready for this whole situation, and the border patrol were also ready, as Third Raikage also took a large force to attack the Fire Country, and now officially the second great ninja war has begun. In the Uzumaki country, as Naruto was looking towards the Jonin with a smile on his face, as most of the Jonin had the Rasengan in their hand. In this time, Naruto was training the forces of the Uzumaki country. He himself was one of the most powerful shinobi alive at the time, but Naruto believed that the members of the Uzumaki clan have great potential, and Naruto believed that if he trained them hard enough, they can reach the level of a Kage, no problem whatsoever. In under his training, many Jonin has broken through to the level of elite Jonin, and they have also produced two Kage level shinobi as well, as Naruto has taught them about the sage more, while most of them had not learned it and mastered it, but they're able to grasp some of its power. On top of that, they have also mastered Rasengan and some of the other series of Rasengan thanks to the Shadow Clone technique that was truly useful as Naruto told them and showed them a way as they were able to make several Shadow Clones while not as much as Naruto of course, but most of them were able to make 10 Shadow Clones thus increasing their speed of training as a Ambu quickly appeared to the place. Lord, my lord, clan head, we have gotten the information. And he gave the scroll to Naruto as Naruto opened it and read it as Naruto smirked at that. Gentlemen, I have good news. It seemed that the second great ninja war has begun. As most of the Uzumakis were confused what is so good about this information, but they quickly looked towards Naruto as Naruto smirked at that. You need to up your training because soon enough our Uzumaki clan is gonna join the battlefield, and this time I want the name of the Uzumakis to spread across the shinobi world. As most of the members looked towards each other and smiled at that. After all, in this time they were becoming stronger and stronger, and they want to show to the shinobi world that they were not a weak nation. They could simply attack and would have no consequences to that. While on the other hand, Donzo slammed his hand into the table after Hokage Hiruzen. We have to do something. Those damn lunatics of Kumo are attacking our borders like crazy. They have already destroyed some of our patrol and entered in the far country. We have to do something. As Hokage was still puffing on his smoke as he sighed at that, they could actually use the clans in Konoha to mobilize, but the situation is a bit delicate at this point. As we look towards Danzo, alright then, I'm gonna summon a Jonin Council and we have to, you can say, start preparing for war. As Danzo simply nodded at that, as the door was opened, as the other elders finally appeared, as Hiruzen quickly gave a order, as Ambu quickly relayed the order to all the Jonin of Konoha, as the Elder Council finally appeared in the Jonin Council, as all the Jonin were present, as Hiruzen decided to take his seat as well as Danzo and the other two elders. As Hiruzen finally spoke up, you guys would have already know about the situation. It seemed that the second great ninja war has begun, but before Hiruzen could say anything, one of the clan heads spoke up. Lord Hokage, we will need to confirm something from you. We have gotten some rumors across the shinobi world that Konoha was involved in the attack against the Uzumaki country. We need to know about the whole situation. After all, the Uzumakis were previously our ally. So, should we be ready to fight against them in this war? As there was dead silence, as Hiruzen frowned at that. He wanted to avoid this topic, but before he could say anything, Danzo stood up. Do not worry about the Uzumakis. They have betrayed our trust and were secretly dealing with the other villages to sold off their seals, but the other villages got greedy and attacked them. Konoha has nothing to do with it, and do not hear these rumors. As many Jonin look towards each other, they have some suspicion in their eyes, but still, they knew that they need to calm down, otherwise the situation would go out of hand. All of them were Jonin, and no one was a fool, so they knew about many things, as Ruzan also knew that, but he simply looked towards Danzo and simply nodded at that. Alright, do not worry about the Uzumakis. At this point, we are still negotiating, and we believe that we would be able to convince our previous allies to not go on a dark path. As far in the future, we will explain everything if the Uzumakis try to enter in the war. We believe that we will still be able to negotiate with them. So, enough about the Uzumaki. So, this is we are here to prepare for the second great ninja war. Kumo is already attacking the borders of the fire country. So, what are your suggestions as the preparation for the war against Kumo and possibly other villages was being prepared in the head, in the office, or rather in the home of Mito Uzumaki, as Mito Uzumaki was studying a seal as she saw at that she simply could not understand it. Why couldn't the Uzumaki country understand her situation? To her, the Senju and Konoha, which she promised her husband, the first Hokage, to protect with her life, was still here, and she could not do anything about the Uzumaki country. While Konoha may have betrayed the Uzumakis, but Konoha simply cannot go to war against four countries. For Uzumaki country, the small has to be sacrificed for a bigger one. and the Uzumaki should have understood the situation. If they would have asked for some money or some minor jutsu, she would have given it to, you can say, keep her family with her. But they have gone too far. They even expelled her, the princess of the Uzumaki country, and even asked for those two forbidden techniques. She simply cannot hand them over. After all, those were the legacies of Senju and the legacies of Konoha. The Uzumaki country has no right to it, as Mito completely forgot that she has already handed over all the heritage of Uzumaki country, even the secret technique like the Shikifujin, to Konoha and to Senju clan long ago, and she was never authorized to do so. As Mito simply sighed at that, and the door was open as Tsunade finally appeared. Hey grandma, I'm here. As Tsunade looked towards Mito as she sighed at that. As a member of the Senju clan, she knew many things, and she also knew some of the moves of the higher ups and her grandmother's acceptance to the situation. But who would have thought that the Uzumakis were so powerful? Not only they destroyed the other countries, on top of that, they were able to take down the other Kages, and now it seems that they are angry with the whole situation of Konoha and Mido Uzumaki. If Konoha knew about it, they would have definitely sent Shinobi to support the Uzumakis, and in this war, the Uzumakis would have stood beside them rather against them. She, as Tsunade, was a member of Konoha, a member of Senju clan, and a student of Third Hokage. She cannot do anything about the situation as she sighed. Do not worry, grandmother. I believe that they simply sent that letter in anger. Once the head of the Uzumaki clan come to Konoha, and you would be able to talk to him, and the situation will definitely be improved. As Mito simply nodded at that, she could only hope for it. Otherwise, the situation will definitely get complicated. After all, her own situation is not that good, and a new Jinchuriki has to be born sooner or later, and it has to be a member of the Uzumakis. If the Uzumakis are still enemy, they could only abduct a member of the Uzumaki to be the new Jinchuriki, but the loyalty of that new Jinchuriki would always be in question. Neither Konoha nor that Jinchuriki would have good time with the situation, as Mito could only hope that the situation would turn out right. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is gonna be 100 likes and 20 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, see you soon. Peace.